Welcome to the Nightmare Zoo. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe.
Viewer discretion is advised.
Is there a pack of werewolves stalking the shores of Lake Erie? The official report will say it was a rogue bear. The Toledo News will run a segment on water safety. The Sandusky Register will quote a Port Clinton sheriff's deputy about the dangers of drinking while boating. It's all a lie. I know because I held the flashlight. My name is Deputy Mark Rourke, and I am the only one left in the Ottawa County Sheriff's Department who remembers what we pulled from the water at Maumee Bay State Park. It didn't start with disappearances. It started with what the lake gave back. The first was Old Man Henderson, a fisherman who never missed a sunrise off the Port Clinton piers. They found his 14-foot aluminum boat drifting a mile out, the outboard motor still puttering. The deck was a slaughterhouse. It wasn't just blood. It was a thick, viscous paste of blood, lake water, and a foul, oily slime that reeked of wet dog and rotting meat. The gunnels were bent inward, as if a truck had sat on them. And there were scratches. Deep, parallel grooves dug into the aluminum, each one ending in a puncture where a claw had dug in and ripped. We found Henderson tangled in his own net 50 yards away. He wasn't just dead. He was unwound. His spine had been separated from his torso, the vertebrae cracked open for the marrow. His rib cage was splayed open like a grotesque butterfly, every organ meticulously removed. His face was frozen in a silent scream, but his eyes were gone, leaving behind 2 clean, empty sockets that dripped black fluid. The DNR called it a severe animal predation, likely a pack of large coyotes that swam out to the boat. We all nodded. It was easier than the truth. Then the campers came. A family of 4 from Toledo, staying at Site 17 in Maumee Bay. Their pop-up trailer looked like a tin can crushed by a giant fist. The door was ripped from its hinges and thrown 30 feet into the woods. Inside, the violence was methodical. The table was set for dinner. 4 plates, 4 cups of spilled juice. And in the center of the table, placed neatly on a paper towel as if it were a centerpiece, was the mother's heart. It was still faintly steaming in the cool night air. We found the children's bodies arranged in the fire pit. They had been broken, their limbs snapped and twisted into a crude circular pattern, a mockery of a campfire ring. Their small skulls had been crushed. The father was hanging from a tall pine branch by his own intestines, his body gutted from throat to groin, his insides used as the rope that suspended him. The smell of blood and voided bowels was so thick it clung to our uniforms for days. Sheriff Miller, a man who'd faced down armed meth cooks without flinching, vomited against a tree. He ordered a full curfew for the lakeshore. He called in every favor he had with the State Patrol. Our search ended on the breakwall near the Marblehead Lighthouse. We found them there, 7 of them, silhouetted against the moonlit water. They were not wolves. They were engine blocks of muscle and matted, gray fur, standing on powerful hind legs. Their shoulders were hunched and massive, and their arms ended in hands where fingers tipped with black, curved claws flexed and clenched. One of them held the lower half of a human leg, gnawing on it like a drumstick. The bone snapped with a crack that echoed across the water. They turned. Their eyes were the color of spoiled egg yolk, glowing with a vile intelligence. The largest one, its muzzle streaked with fresh gore, dropped its meal and opened its mouth. The sound that came out was not a howl. It was a deep, guttural roar, layered with the high-pitched, chittering laughter of a madman. They moved. They didn't run. They flowed across the rocks, closing the distance in seconds. Deputy Higgins raised his rifle. One of the creatures swiped a claw. It didn't just hit him. It bisected him. His top half landed on the hood of a cruiser with a wet slap, his fingers still squeezing the trigger on his now useless rifle. His legs stood upright for a horrifying second before collapsing. I emptied my shotgun into the chest of the one coming for me. The blast tore fur and flesh away, revealing a glimpse of rippling muscle and something that looked like moving bone beneath. It snarled, a sound of pure rage, and the wound sealed itself shut in a matter of seconds, smoke rising from the new pink flesh. We retreated in a panic, a scramble of screaming men and roaring engines. We lost 3 more deputies on that breakwall. We only found pieces of them later. At dawn, the silence returned. That's when the men in the unmarked SUVs arrived. They weren't from any agency we knew. They took command without asking. They confiscated our evidence, our reports, the dashcam footage that showed things no one would ever believe. They told us a new story. A biohazard spill from a freighter. A tragic accident. A chemical that induced psychosis and violent behavior. They promised federal money. They threatened us with treason charges. They made us sign the goddamn papers. So the official story is a lie. A chemical leak. A bear. But I hear them every night when the wind blows from the north. I hear their laughter underneath the howl. They're still out there. They've grown fat and bold on their diet of fishermen and campers. The news this morning said, a young couple is missing from a beach near Sandusky. They found their cooler still full of beer, their radio playing softly. And next to their empty towels, pressed deep into the sand, was a single, perfect, monstrous paw print. The pack is moving down the lake's coastline, and the government is handing them the map.